Hey everybody, and welcome to the Solidity Insurance Group team call. If I have yet to meet you, my name is Marysa Maggio, and it is great to meet you. Welcome to the team. Welcome to Family First Life. This company has truly changed everything for me. So we were supposed to have Trey on the call. Trey is held up in a really important meeting, and Trey's the kind of person, if he says he's going to be there, he's there. That's why I know it's a really important meeting. So guys, essentially, I'm just going to go back to some basic things that helped me in the business. We will have Trey on, so for those of y'all that hopped on for Trey, I can't blame you. I would have too. But you got me, so here we are. So that all being said, guys, happy Thursday. I hope everybody's having a great start to their day. When we talk about basics, really what I'm going to go back to in terms of basics of the actual psychology behind the sale. And I'm going to hit on 4 different things. And if you get on the Friday calls with our CEO, Sean Mike, you might be like, wow, I just heard this a couple of weeks back. I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I write things down. I don't always go back and look at them. But this is one that I think is so important because it's not just from a recruiting standpoint or an agency building standpoint. It's also from a sales standpoint, most importantly. So kind of fully back to the basics. I'm going to hit on 4 keys. And the first one is going to be clarity. Guys, when we come into this business, it's really easy to come in, or when we're having a hard time or we're having any type of turbulence in the business, or we're just coming in, I call that turbulence. We kind of don't really know what's going on, so to say. We lack clarity. And the only person who can give you clarity is typically you. What I really mean by that is in terms of your schedule, in terms of your lead flow, you can definitely and you should ask for advice on lead flow, but you need clarity, guys. We need clarity around what we're doing, what we're not doing. So what's the goal, right? Like clarity. What is your goal? Now, if you're just getting started today, you might be like, my goal, like I'm coming in and I'm gonna write $50,000 in my first month. I'm not saying you can't do that. But you better be really clear on how you're going to do it and get with your mentor on the hours, the steps, the schedule it's going to take to get there. So clarity, like what's the goal? Where do you want to go? Where do you need to go? And what are you willing to give up to get there? Those 3 questions changed my life in terms of this industry. When I had the opportunity to sit down with Sean Mike when I was getting started with Family First Life, he asked me, where are you at now? And guys, it was a really uncomfortable question for me. He's basically like, where are you at now? What do you got in your bank account? Like, what do you have liquid in your bank account that you can spend right now? Like, can you pay your rent, basically, right? Where are you at now? Where do you want to be, right? Where do you want to be? Just if you are behind on your rent payment, your car payment, like, guys, I've been there. I've been there. And most of the people, top sales leaders, have been there at one point or another. It's okay to be there, but it's not okay to stay there. Okay, like there's a difference in that, right? It's okay to be there, but it's not okay to stay there. So where are you at now? Where do you want to be? And what are you willing to give up to get there? There's going to be a trade-off in this business, no matter what it is. It might be time, it might be money, it might be energy, it might be effort, it might be having conversations that are really uncomfortable, it might be getting uncomfortable, it might be waking up on time, it could be a multitude of different things. It could be having positive self-talk. But guys, when we lack clarity, we lack confidence. So that's going to segue me into the second point, which is going to be confidence. Confidence is everything, especially when things get bad in this business. Your confidence is going to make you or break you. Now, when I say confidence, I don't mean like, I don't mean that you have to have an ego and be arrogant. I actually mean quite differently. Confident is I know where I'm going. I'm not confused. And when things get bad, I'm not going to allow them to repeat themselves, right? So panic will breed panic. Calm spreads. Which one do you want? If you go into a place of panic and distraught and distress, has anybody on this call ever been panicked in their life about anything? Raise your hand. Okay, pretty much all of us, right? Except Christina. She's never been panicked, it looks like. Christina and Vern never been panicked.
I can't raise my hand, guys.
I see y'all. No, I'm only kidding. But guys, seriously, panic breeds panic, right? Have you ever called somebody when you're in a panic and then like all of a sudden they start panicking and like it's actually not like the house isn't on fire, right? So panic's going to breed panic. Calm is going to breed calm. How do you react in a situation where things are unsettling, right? Especially when things get bad, we got to think about essentially how do we act? What I always say is at work, panic isn't allowed. It's not allowed. We're not allowed to panic. We're professionals. With what we do, there's nothing to panic about. Guys, pivoting from one carrier to another carrier, if you're panicking there, you have to find out why and find a word track that's going to give you a peace of mind to breed that confidence, right? And here's what I want to say. If you're just getting started, guys, I'm not saying you should come in and be like, I am so confident and know everything. But what you should do is come in and be like, I'm confident enough to unmute, to get feedback, to share my results, to ask for help. You're confident enough to do those things. That's confidence. I still ask for help. I haven't been with FFL for a decade, but I've been in the industry for a decade. I don't know everything, but I don't act like I know everything. And it allows me to be confident in the areas that I do know things. It allows me to be confident in different areas, which, to be honest, works out more often than not. The third thing is going to be consistency. People respond well to predictable environments, okay? Now, what I mean by that, guys, is I'm not sure if any of you guys can relate, but I remember going from like kindergarten to like grade school, right? And I remember on the first day of first grade, y'all get all the tea on me on my team calls. I just be ripping myself, right? So like you guys get all the tea on me. I remember my first day of first grade. I had a balloon in my hand, and I had this picture, and I still remember it. And I was crying because it was my birthday. It was my birthday, September 3rd. That was the first day of school. It was the perfect storm, I guess. And I was crying because I realized, like, wow, this is different than going to kindergarten. And I'm going to be in and out of here in like 3 hours. Like, I'm going to be here for a longer day. I'm going to be here all day, right? So, in other words, I wasn't responding well to my environment. So, what happened when I showed up to my first grade classroom? My mom walked me into the school, and I was the last kid to sit down because I could not stop crying. And guys, I had a balloon in my hand. Like, what kid ain't happy with the balloon in their hand? I was like crying with the balloon in my hand. Like, oh my God, this is awful, right? But my point is once I got used to that environment, I was used to it. But for that moment, in that moment, I lost it. Like, I lost it. I was in first grade. I don't even know how old you are in first grade, but like probably old enough that I shouldn't have been crying, but young enough that I'm gonna make you like it's okay that I was. So people respond well to predictable environments, period. Make your environment predictable. If you wake up every day and you don't even know like where you're gonna work in your house, or you're like, oh, maybe I'll go to the office today, maybe I won't, maybe some of my stuff's over here, some of my stuff's over there. I don't have my carrier logins, but none of that is consistent, right? So essentially, guys, consistency is going to build trust within yourself. When you consistently do something, like when my mom used to tell me, I used to wake up in the morning, guys, before I went to school, and I would be like, Mom, I'm sick. I don't feel good. You know, like it could be like it was Tuesday, and like last night I was eating all the snacks, right? And I was like dancing in the living room, and I'm like, Mom, I don't feel good, right? And like I'm like, I think I have a fever. I literally remember like putting myself under a blanket to try to not go to school. And as my mother would tell me, she would say, Marysa, you're going to school. Okay, like that was her one line. You're going to school. So I would get up in the first grade and I would go to school, right? Because it was uncomfortable, guys. It was uncomfortable for me. I didn't want to go. I was like, this environment is weird. I don't want to go. It's like, whatever. So my point is, guys, is not even to make y'all laugh about my first grade story, but keep that in mind when your environment changes around you in this business. Don't ask yourself, like, don't start convincing yourself, like, you don't know how to sell insurance or like this. No, double check your environment. And guys, what I will say is you want to make your environment a product of you. Don't do it the other way around. You're like, you want to come in and own your environment. And until you can get to a place where you're like, I own this, like you're not going to mentally be 100% checked in. So you're not essentially performing at your highest tier, your highest level, right? So essentially making sure that, again, people respond well to predictable environments. Make your environment predictable. Now, there's a lot of things that can happen in life that can be unpredictable. I'm experiencing a lot of them right now, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are too. That all being said, there's things that we can control and that we can't control. Your environment typically is one of them. Okay, like it's typically one of them. If you can learn to make other people a product of your environment. I'm not saying like, go into the library and blast your music. That doesn't sound like a good idea. The library's probably going to kick you out. But what I'm saying is, if people know, if you're at your house and your family knows that you have to conduct business, asking them quietly, asking them kindly, hey, I'm working right now. Like, so if I was at my job, like you wouldn't be able to be in the room. Like, can you leave? That's you allowing them to be a product of your environment. And to be quite honest, that's what we all need to be successful in virtual sales, right? We used to be going in our cars place to place. We don't have that control, if you will, of our environment being in our car. But what we do have control of is what's going on around us. What I can tell you is I've worked in every environment virtually, from like there's 50 people in the background to lock-in environments, which are awesome, to office environments, to at-home environment, to an environment where there's people watching TV in the background. The one I lost the most at is where I'm allowing other people to make me a product of my environment. So make sure wherever you are, you're controlling the controllables. Exactly, Jaden. It's exactly that. So we want to remember inconsistency builds distrust. So like when we're inconsistent on something, you're going to stop trusting yourself. If like you're here one day, you don't follow your schedule the next. You follow your schedule the day after. You don't follow. Has anybody ever done that? Anybody ever got off schedule on this call? All right, again, we only got Matt, only me and Matt done. All right, now I'm only messing with y'all. All right, but guys, seriously, when you get off schedule, think about that. Because the thing, and I'm not saying to beat yourself up, I'm actually saying to route yourself back to where you need to go. It's okay to get off a schedule here or there. It's going to happen to the best of us. But what's not okay is to put yourself in this place of inconsistency so you stop trusting yourself. If you're not showing up for your schedule to the point that it changes every week, you need to change your schedule. I'm going to say that again. If you're not showing up on your schedule, like one time a week, every week you mess it up, you need to change your schedule. Make a non-negotiable schedule and make a goal schedule. Non-negotiable could be like, no matter what, I am working 8 to 4. Okay. I'm just making this up. I'm not suggesting 8 to 4. No matter what, I'm working 8 to 4, right? That's your non-negotiable schedule. And then you could be like, okay, well, I'm going to work 8 to 12, take a break, and then I'm going to go 2 to 6. You're being more intentional, guys. My point is make sure that you're consistently building up trust within yourself versus breaking it. Because when you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't do it, like your subconscious brain knows. And that's going to mess with your confidence and your clarity at the end of the day, right? So just like be honest with yourself. And if you are changing your schedule every single week, please, please, for you, sit down and redo your schedule and be honest with yourself. If you're only going to show up 6 hours a week, I mean, I hope you win. You're probably not going to win, just to be flat out honest, but make the schedule that says 6 hours a week because you're being honest with yourself. In 90 days, typically within this business, you're going to build the trust within yourself, the system, etc., or you're going to build the distrust. And to be quite frank with everybody, is there things that your upline, Solidity could do better, FFL could do better? Sure. But at the end of the day, you got to look in the mirror because this is virtual sales and we have so much support, especially within this group. And I'm so thankful to say that. So in 90 days, you're either going to trust yourself or you're not going to trust yourself. Choose to do things that are going to build you up. I know for me, even when I make a to-do list, and it could be like on Sunday, right? Like go to the store, right? Meditate, work out, move your body, read a book, like for 10 minutes, take notes. Like when I actually do those things and I can check them off, my brain feels good. You might be like, you didn't mention work. Correct. I didn't mention work intentionally. It's not always about how much can we work, how much. No. If everything else is out of line in your life, how much you can work really kind of frankly might not matter because your confidence and clarity aren't there. So just do what you say you're going to do. Okay. And then the fourth thing is belief. Be careful what you complain about. And really what I mean by that, guys, is you can have a belief of like, this is so hard. I don't know what to do. I have to dial. I have these people calling me and they think it's free. Like, okay, wow, wow. What a first world problem we have, guys. What a first world problem. And like, have I ever complained before? Yeah, heck yeah. I'm just telling y'all it didn't do nothing. It made it worse. Unless you're trying to walk yourself out of the business, stop complaining about the business. At this point, what could be more simplistic than how this business is? Like what could be? I literally don't know. I actually don't know. Because we all try to sit down and be like, how can we make it simpler? And at this point, guys, it's so streamlined that it's like, hey, it's up to us as agents to make sure that we're doing what we say we're going to do. It's up to us to have that belief, right? So be careful what you complain about because I believe in God and I believe that if you keep complaining about things you shouldn't be complaining about, God is going to give you something to complain about. And I don't, I'm not trying to be tested, working against God, so I'm actually building my relationship with God this year. So all jokes aside, be careful what you complain about. Now, belief. You might say, well, I came in and I have really low self-confidence, okay? I'm not mad at you. I've had low self-confidence before. I've had a bad self-image. It's up to you to fix those things. And what I mean by that is, first and foremost, remember, whoever brought you into this business felt like you were capable of doing it, or they wouldn't have brought you in. We work way too close with people to just be like, we're going to bring everybody in. No, 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 no. Like, guys, we're all gatekeeping at this point. So if you're here because somebody believes in you. Somebody believes that you can truly, truly do this business. So, like, borrow that belief. That might sound silly, but what I'm trying to say is until you can see yourself in the light that other people see you in, borrow the belief of somebody else. If I'm sitting on Zoom with you and I'm like, hey, you got this, keep going, you sound great. Keep going. I'm not going to tell you sound great if you don't. Nobody on here is going to tell you sound great if you don't. So belief is everything. Belief in the product itself. Guys, has anybody on here ever had a loss? Anybody that they know ever died? So we all know how important this product is, right? Like we all know that this, technically speaking, in my eyes, it should be like you need to have it, not like, oh, I want life insurance. Like you should need to have it, in my opinion. And when you can feel like you need to have it, that's right, Tim. Amen. Like facts. Like, and when you can feel like I need to have this coverage, everybody needs to have this coverage. I say this from my heart, guys. I think every human being on the planet needs life insurance. But you know what? That's why I'm so good at helping people get it. Because I have a strong belief in the fact of they need it, not of, oh, I need to make the commission. The commission's a byproduct. Until you can see the commission as a byproduct, you're probably going to struggle immensely in this business because you're not going to be able to shoot people straight. You're not going to be able to tell them when they don't qualify. You're not going to be able to be like, okay, they have a direct express card, so I have these two companies, and whatever the rate is, the rate is. You're not going to be able to do that because your belief is too low for you to understand. Like, if they have a direct express card, that's all they qualify for, right? If they have an amputation, they qualify for guaranteed issue. They might have led the conversation and said, hey, Heather, I really don't want a 2-year wait period. But they had their leg amputated. Heather's like, well, like, we're going to go ahead and see what you qualify for. And Heather gets into it. But if she had a belief issue of the product that guaranteed issue whole life is a bad product for the right person, that's all they qualify for, like, she wouldn't sell it. None of us would. Some of us make GIWL sound like it's like, oh my God, you know what, you just shouldn't even apply. You should just put money in the bank and pray, right? No, they need a policy, guys. So it's like when you have a belief that's so strong, that's like everybody needs this, and then you have this belief in yourself of I have the confidence to show other people why they need this, it's game over, dude. It's literally game over. Yes, Heather, I was talking about this the other day. So many people outlive that 2-year wait, guys. We got to remember, some people might have just had a heart attack, the month before, and that's why we're going GIWL. Let's be clear. We all probably know somebody who's had a heart attack, and a lot of them are still with us, right? A heart attack is not a death sentence, okay? So it's like, we have to remember that. I have so many clients, and Heather, I was looking at it the other day, that have outlived their GIWL 2-year wait. And it's like, they're now in an immediate benefit. Like, that's it. Like, they got through the 2 years, guys. But in through those 24 months, they had the literal best thing for their family. They didn't procrastinate. So don't make you be the reason why they procrastinate because you're like, oh my gosh, we have to go graded. Oh my God. No, 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 no. Congratulations, John. I'm really excited to see you do qualify for something here, but it's how you say it. Congratulations, John, versus unfortunately. If it's like, guys, we don't use the word unfortunately on a sales call. Like, there's nothing unfortunately happening. Okay. The only thing that would be unfortunate is if we don't help them get to the end. All right. So we're not like, unfortunately has to be eliminated from the category to build belief. Okay. So every single time I talk to a client and you guys talk to a client, we're asking them why they filled the form out, why they sent the form in, what was their biggest concern, something along that line. Like, what was your concern when you sent the request in? What are we doing? We're building their belief in the product. If you had passed away last night, John, who would be picking up the pieces today? Well, I don't really know, right? You ever get that guy? I don't really know. It's like, okay, yeah, you do, dude. Like, if you died last night, who's the first person coming by the house? Okay, what is that going to look like for them? Right? Like, where are they going to get the funds to come up to pay for your final arrangements? Okay, now I understand why you filled the form out. Now I understand why you sent the request in. Now I understand why you called in today. Whatever the lead type is, it doesn't matter. But bringing it back to now I understand why. Because that's all belief, guys. All we're doing through those who, what, when, where, why questions is helping them borrow our belief on life insurance to best understand how to go about it, right? And we have to remember too, like you better believe we're contracted with the best companies across the United States. No matter what state they're in outside of New York, I will say, like, I'm not messing with New York. Love y'all out in New York, but we just don't have products there like that. But outside of New York, we have the best product lines in the United States. So when you're on the phone with somebody and you're like, I'm a broker, I shop the rate around for you, and they're like, I want to shop around. And you're like, I shop the rate around for you. That way, Hannah, you don't have to talk to 15 different people. You can just talk to me, and by the end of this conversation, we'll know which policy you're going to qualify for. Sound fair? We want to kill those objections on the front end, guys. And when you start doing things like that, and people are like, okay, it's building your belief. Okay. So, that all being said, guys, I go back to clarity, confidence, consistency, and belief. Because if you're lacking in one of those four areas, your business probably feels really heavy. The phone probably feels really heavy. And you have to self evaluate which one of those things or which ones of those things do you need to get better at? Do you need more clarity on where you're going? Do you need more confidence in terms of maybe practicing what you're saying out loud or role playing it with a friend or a family member or recording yourself to make sure that you have that recording and you can listen back to it to see what you could have done better? Right? Consistency. Are you consistently doing the things that you say you're going to do? Or are you not? And if you're not, how can you change them to align with your current self? And then the last one, again, belief is always going to tie back into these things. If you don't believe that clarity, confidence, and consistency are going to yield you a good result, like you don't believe in the process, so to say. But all of that being said, guys, life insurance is so important. Every single person that we talked to raised their hand and said, I want more information about life insurance. And guys, I always think about this when I'm getting like beat up on the phones or I'm just like, what is going on with me today? Like, I don't know what is up with me. I'm losing, Sam, John, Mary, no matter what I say. It's, are you asking the right questions? Are you showing them how much you believe in the product? Are you showing them that you believe that, hey, I know there's captive agents out there that could have put you in a higher rate that's like double the price, such as companies with three-letter acronyms. Like, we got to get people out of bad situations by getting uncomfortable, and that's through belief. So, guys, if you don't believe in the product, you don't believe in the system, you don't believe in the process, you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be hard. But what I can tell you guys is I did not always fully believe in myself in terms of selling life insurance. But I did believe that if other people could do it, so could I. And it was just a matter of time to move the learning curve, right? So if you're there and you believe that, great, you're halfway there. And I'm not like good. Keep up the clarity, confidence, and consistency, and the belief is going to catch up with you. So, guys, that's what